Tonight, newly released footage taken aboard a U.S. Navy ship showing what appears to be UFOs flying off the coast of California.
Yeah, that's right. Chelsea Edward.
UFOs. Oh, gosh, yeah. Welcome to Second Earth Alternative. This episode is going to be short and sweet and to the point, and mark my words, it's a very interesting episode. I'm actually going to attempt to convince you that not only are UFOs real, but that this recent footage that was released by Jeremy Corbell that seems to show another UFO, this time from the USS Omaha. You see, what makes this episode so unique is that I'm not going to have some kind of forensic tool to try to illustrate to you why this footage is legitimate. I'm going to do it with a concept called independent confirmation. Now, I have a little secret that I wanted to share with you. One time in my life, I used to actually be a skeptic. I know, it's very embarrassing. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this embarrassing secret is because I wanted to demonstrate how I actually got on the topic of UFOs. You see, when I was working as a SAT tutor, I was kind of in this academic headspace, and I just didn't think UFOs are real. I thought that there was some kind of mental construct, some psychological derangement that was creating all these sightings. But something got me on the right path. And it wasn't the actual footage itself. It was independent confirmations. So let me give you an example. On the Coast to Coast, Art Bell used to be the host. He had a guest called Jim Sparks who claimed to have had these alien abductions, but his story was really interesting because he had this uncanny ability to remember the abductions. So I'm just going to lay it out, paraphrasing how he said it happened. Basically, he was in the woods. There was all these people that were essentially in shock, kind of rolling around, all freaked out. And it was, as he described, a mass abduction, meaning it wasn't just one person getting abducted, but a whole bunch of people being abducted. He doesn't know how he got in the woods. He just remembers looking at the forest and seeing these ships go overhead, 3 of them to be exact, and then suddenly he's inside a ship. And then one of the humans is apparently asked by the aliens that look like grays to lead the other humans into this white room where they proceeded to sit down in what was, I guess, a futuristic teleprompter. And they were looking at these images that were essentially evoking all these emotions. And it started off by showing the planet being this beautiful, absolutely amazing place. And slowly the images started degrading. And eventually by the end, it just looked like it was this toxic wasteland, like completely polluted. And then actually said in the teleprompter, you're killing your planet, you're killing your planet. Now, Jim Sparks is one of those abduction stories that for some reason, just the way he said it, the amount of details that he gave, the candor that he had, he just seemed to be very honest about it. All of that gave me this feeling like, hey, maybe this guy is actually saying something that is real. And then imagine one day you're watching the Women's Channel. And no, I don't usually watch the Women's Channel. I was doing this because there was a show about alien abductions, which the show actually ended up getting canceled. It actually only ran for half of a season. But in this episode, I watch a woman talk about how she basically was in the woods. She saw 3 crafts. Suddenly is inside the craft, is led to a white room and sees all these images with a teleprompter saying you're killing your planet. When I saw this, my jaws nearly dropped to the ground. And then they showed another interview with another woman who proceeds to tell almost the exact same story, just kind of phrasing it a little bit different in her own subjective interpretation. So now I was forced to believe one thing. These individuals are all simultaneously pranking the entire world with this one singular story and have at one time communicated with each other and are willing to face absolute ridicule for no money whatsoever, just for this stupid publicity, which is not even publicity, it's more of an embarrassment for these people. I'm forced to believe that this happened, or that perhaps this event actually took place. So this was only one, what I call independent confirmation. There were like tens, if not hundreds of these type of confirmations that in time eventually kind of warmed me up to the topic. And it was kind of like once I got into the topic, it all kind of fit like a jigsaw puzzle. It just all made sense. I didn't just see a UFO footage and was like, wow, that looks like it has to be real. It was a process of a lot of independent confirmations. And so I'm telling you this because in this episode, well, I'm gonna give you a remarkable independent confirmation. So before we get started, let me go ahead and show you the video from the USS Omaha.
Took off, spoken it.
Yeah, we have 31 knots sustained wind, topside, gust of 40.
What was splashed? Splashed. Mark bearing range.
Okay, well, that was interesting. I'm not sure if the audience, if you have seen anything like that, but what I can say is that I have. And not just on a video, I saw it with my own eyes. And I can prove it because I actually talked about it. And get this, the very first episode that we've ever made for this show. I kid you not. Take a look. The simple laws of inertia would imply that these crafts could not change directions so rapidly as they are being reported without effectively squishing the pilots like a pancake, meaning these UFOs also seem to be utilizing technology that goes beyond our common understanding of physics. I think it's important to clear this pink elephant in the room. Outside of other people's accounts, I have actually witnessed something that could not be understood with multiple other eyewitnesses. It was myself and two other friends. We witnessed this blue-green orb that just kind of hovered over the waters past the Golden Gate Bridge around 3:45 a.m. about, I would say 5 years ago. And this wasn't some star. I mean, this object was like nearly half the size of the moon from our perspective, and after hovering for 4 to 5 seconds, this blue-green orb shot down into the water way faster than gravity itself could allow. And I mean, it's like, shoo, like straight into the ocean. And I'm never gonna forget this moment because it was like this very unfamiliar pause that occurred for 10 seconds just after the event. It was something I never experienced. And it was just silence, like nobody said anything, as if we were all in shock or in some kind of processing mode. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, after like 10, 15 seconds, we just started blasting each other, like, what the hell? Like, what was that? So, what can I say? It's one thing to see something when you don't really believe in UFOs at the time that you think is absolutely remarkable, that is doing something that you didn't even know existed, like objects going underwater, because I didn't know about the concept of unidentified submersible objects, or that a sphere can fly. It's another concept that I wasn't aware of, but it was something that I saw with my bare eyes. I decided to publish it in the first episode, and then 4 years later, the US Navy comes out with a video that essentially is, how do I say, the exact same thing. That's crazy. And if that doesn't convince you that UFOs might be real, I don't know. I don't know what I can do to open up your mind to this topic.
So what you're telling me is that UFOs, unidentified flying objects, are real.
Bill, I think we're beyond that already. The government has already stated for the record that they're real. I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that.
I'll just keep publishing videos, I guess. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. This is Felipe speaking, signing out.